Hey there, welcome to Nappy Invest. Now in this video I'll be looking at 5 hot small caps on the ASX, and this is going to be part 5 to this series. So what I'll be focusing on here is companies that have seen a catalyst, which is usually a positive announcement sometime in the past, which led to a breakout in the share price. And what we've seen is that breakout has led to the share price continuing to be re-rated for this company over a certain period of time. And typically I like to wait for at least a month to see if that breakout can be sustained. And in these 5 companies we have seen a sustained breakout in the share price. For some of these companies it's been over 8 months. So let's get into it and let's have a look at the agenda for this video. So in this video, the 5 companies I'll be focusing on are Bard1, Pursuit Minerals, Satire, Race Oncology, and Latin Resources. I won't get into what these companies do until I get to their portion of the video, and in most cases you can see or figure out what they do just by their name. So I'll be just looking at their chart and focusing on the catalyst that has led to the re-rating in the share price for all these companies. I won't be focusing too much on what they do because that's irrelevant in this sort of situation. It's mainly focusing on the catalyst that has driven the share price higher, in some cases by more than 2,000%. Now the first company I'll be looking at is Bard1. Now Bard1 doesn't quite fit into my definition of a hot stock. So typically I like to wait at least a month between a breakout in the share price and the current time. And with Bard1, their breakout occurred on the 11th of February. So I've been a little bit generous with my definition of a hot stock when it comes to Bard1. But we have seen a share price of this company increased 416% since the release of this announcement. And in fact, they released 2 very positive announcements 2 trading days apart. And on both instances, the share price went up over 100% in one day. And you can just see what this company does by the fact that the first positive announcement was in regards to an ovarian cancer test, and the second one was in regards to a breast cancer test. Now, Bard1 did have 2.4 billion shares on issue. They did a consolidation at the end of last year, so now they've only got like 18 million shares on issue. So that's probably another reason why we did see the share price run up like this. I tend to not like companies with, 2.4 billion of shares on issue, because you can see a lot of day trading coming into the market, and that can put a bit of suppression under the share price when you see really positive announcements. So I did want to just delve a little bit deeper into the Bard1's 2 announcements that caused their share price to increase 100% in one day. Now, I'm no expert in analysing data from any sort of biotech trial, but they did mention in both these announcements that specificity and sensitivity, and those numbers seem to be fairly high. 100% in 3 of these cases and 95% in the other one. So those are the sort of things that might drive the share price higher if you're no expert in sort of reading that. So this is sort of a very brief, simple way to analysing these sort of announcements. Second company I want to look at is Pursuit Minerals, and this is a real good looking chart with 2 significant breakouts on it. And even though the share price has increased 313% since the first breakout on the 2nd of December, this company only has a share price or market cap of 48 million. Now, before the first breakout, share price was hovering around 1.5 cents or so, and then they announced they were acquiring a project, a nickel copper project. And if you are following copper prices right now, that's going through the roof. The market liked this announcement, and the share price rose 47% on that day. But more importantly, on subsequent days, the share price, there wasn't a lot of selling, and the share price didn't decrease to below the share price, to what the share price started on the breakout day. We have seen the share price go higher from then on during the new year in January, and then they released their second breakout announcement on the 19th of February, something to do with the strong EM conductors, but I don't know what that means, but the market liked it. Share price rose 38% on that day, and then 2 trading days later, the share price rose another 55%, and the share price currently, or at the end of trading on the 2nd of March 2021, was at 6.2 cents, significantly higher to the share price on the first breakout, which was around 2 cents. The next company I'll be looking at is a recent IPO called SETA. I don't know much about this company, but I did read the half-yearly report the other day, and it did interest me. And then I looked at the share price and the chart, and that created even more interest because this is a really good looking chart at the moment. A nice little uptrend developing, which I've shown in that sloping brown line from the bottom left to the top right. And we are seeing consistent higher highs and higher lows, and that's the very definition of an uptrend. So what was in the half-yearly results that interested me was just the increase in revenue mainly, which went from 7 million to 40.5 million. So that's an increase of 479% in 1 year, so year-on-year increase, and they are profitable, and profits have increased 354% year-on-year. So and net cash in operations 8.6 million. That's something else I'm very interested in. Market cap of this company is 385 million. The only pause or the only risks I do see with this sort of company, so they're online retail sales, and they're definitely going to have some tailwinds with them over the next decade or so, and they've had tailwinds behind them in the last year, and some of those tailwinds will become more like headwinds in the next year. I do think people who have been locked down, unable to get out, will be out in shopping malls spending the money there instead of online retail sales. I think the market knows this, and that's why the share price of some of these online retail companies like Kogan have been under pressure over the past month. I think Kogan's gone from $22 all the way to $13. So it's something to keep in the back of your mind, but this company is definitely on my watch list. I'm following this company very closely now for a potential buy in the future. So the next company I'll be looking at is Oncology. So this company has a market cap of $500 million, so it's not that low, but the share price has increased 1,087% since 16th of June 2020, when their catalyst for their breakout happened in regards to an announcement they released to the market. And funny enough, the last company I'll be looking at, their breakout happened on the 17th of June 2020. So all these good things happened around my birthday, which is the 14th of June. Anyway, so their breakout happened in regards to announcement, and the announcement read, impressive 40% clinical response rate in phase 2 bicentenary AML trial. Now, I don't understand, I can't really analyze any sort of announcements like this, but the main thing was the market loved it, and the share price rose 54% on that day, and it was the breakout. It was the catalyst for further share price rises over the next or subsequent 9 months or so. We saw a second breakout on the 16th of October where the share price rose 29%, but there was no announcements with this breakout. It was just sort of a sentiment shift, and from then on, we've seen the share price rise from $1 to $3.74. So if you jumped on that second breakout when the share price finished right on $1, you would have done very well since then. So in this slide, I've zoomed into the 2 breakout days on the 16th of June and the 16th of October. So you can see the first breakout, it was a very positive announcement, and there was extremely high volume. Share price rose from something like 30 cents to 50 cents or so. There was a little bit of selling on the next 2 days, but not a lot. And that was a good sign, because then the week after that, the share price went sideways. So you had a lot of time to get into this company. I think the market was digesting it. It took a time to digest it. And from then on, the share price just raced from about 50 cents to $1 over about a month or so. And then from, say, mid-July to the 16th of October, the share price was just drifting down very slowly. Not a lot of volume there, so that's quite good to see not a lot of volume coming into the market. And then for some reason, on the 16th of October, there was another breakout. There was no news associated with this breakout, but there was some high volume. So maybe there was some sort of a report released by an investing firm or something, but there was something that drove the share price higher on that day, and that was the second catalyst that drove the share price from $1, or 80 cents in this case, all the way up to its current share price, which is about $3.50 or so. And the last company I want to do is Latin Resources. Now, when I was preparing to do this video, I was trying to find companies that fit into this criteria of a hot stock, and I came upon Latin Resources. Ticker code is RLS. I don't know much about this company. I haven't been following it at all, but when I had seen the share price has risen 2,367% since the 17th of June 2020, I went, yeah, this definitely fits into that criteria. And we've just seen the chart there, just a beautiful looking chart, nice uptrend, beautiful. So what was a catalyst behind the re-rating of Latin Resources share price? It was just a joint venture agreement with a major Argentina investment company. So it doesn't sound like the most exciting sort of announcement, but the market liked it. Share price rose 100% on that day and kept on rising in subsequent days. And the share price went from 0.3 cents to 0.6 cents. And ever since then, it's gone from 0.6 cents to 7.4 cents. So it's increased a substantial amount. And even though it's increased that amount, the market cap is still only 94 million. The other thing I really like to see with this company, not only the trend in the share price is beautiful, is also the trend in the volume also is going up. And that's the other thing I really like to see when the share price is increasing, just the increasing trend in the volume going up as well, because that shows me the market is becoming more and more interested in this company. So that's all for this video on 5 hot small caps, part 5 to this series. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Now, if you do have any comments about any companies I've looked at in this video, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, and eventually I'll get to answering any comments you have. It might take me a month or so, but I'll eventually get there. Now, last thing I should say is I'm not a financial advisor. So if you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Have a good day. Bye.